Well, today marks just over 1 month since we have been full-time for real in our toy hauler, and it has been an awesome upgrade for our family. But like everything else in life, there are pros and cons to everything, so today we're going to talk about the difference between a travel trailer and a toy hauler. We've got 6 categories to go over, so let's do it. Welcome back to No Ordinary Path. I'm Kristen. This is my husband, John. He is the travel nurse. We travel around the country full time in our toy hauler now. We did travel in our travel trailer for 4 years with our 3 kids and a dog.
So right off the bat, size is the biggest category, right?
Yes. Size matters. Size. That is the most obvious difference between the travel trailer and the toy hauler. And we had 2 things to contend with: the length and the height. The travel trailer was 37 feet, but not really. It was 34 feet.
That was the box. Yeah.
But from tongue to bumper, it was 37 feet. And the toy hauler is 44 feet, and that's all toy hauler.
Right. Even in the travel trailer, that length kept us out of a lot of national parks, but we're almost exclusively out of all of them with the toy hauler.
Yeah. Well, we fudged it a little bit because we could say we were 34 feet and that got us into more places than we probably should have been. With the travel trailer, we cannot park in national parks, but we knew that that was going to be a thing.
That's right.
And also, we've been looking at a lot of places to stay in the Great Lakes area, and there have been places that say, I'm sorry, we can't accommodate your size. That's okay. The thing we didn't really expect, or I didn't really fully expect, is the difference in the height when you're booking RV sites.
You can say that you're 34 feet long or 44 feet long, and that's fine and everything like that. But there are some sites that have really low hanging branches. And so that factor plays into it when booking, because if you have, a 13.6 trailer like we do with this one, the toy hauler, there are some sites we can't get into because of the height.
Yeah, so we've started telling people when we're booking, this is a toy hauler. It is 13.3 or 13.6, and we're 44 feet long with 2 slides and 2 vehicles. So we take up a lot of space, and we have to be really upfront about that when booking a campsite.
It also matters when you're going down the road too, because there are certain bridges and things like that we can't go under.
Low power lines, low branches.
And Google loves to take us through neighborhoods.
With the travel trailer, it was never really on our minds. We only had 1 instance where we ever were too tall for something. And other than that, height never played a factor into our planning at all with the travel trailer.
Right.
Booking has maybe been a little bit more stressful, but to be honest, we're still out here and there are still places to stay. There's places to boondock, there's places to book. You have to look a little harder.
Right. Space is really the next category that immediately comes to mind, because this thing, the toy hauler, we often say it's like a small apartment on wheels.
It is. There's no comparison really to the travel trailer. There's so much more space for our family to stretch out in. We all have a chair that we can recline in. We never had that in the travel trailer. One thing that's different about the toy hauler is we actually have room to host people. We would invite people occasionally in the travel trailer, but there's no space.
Somebody was at least always standing, especially if they were adults. We had 11 people in the toy hauler for Aaron's birthday, so there's definitely more room.
And they all had a place to sit.
That's right. And the high ceilings also make it feel so much more spacey.
Yeah, it really does feel like an apartment on wheels, where the travel trailer always, even though it was our home and we made it look and feel homey inside, there was no doubt that it was an RV.
Yeah.
This feels more like an apartment.
I will admit fully to one of my favorite things is the solid door separating the garage space, which is the kids area, from the rest of the RV.
Yeah, it is a solid door, floor to ceiling. It does not have that gap in it, which means when it's closed, it's almost soundproof.
Yes.
They also have a really nice space inside, especially when the beds are raised, that they have room to kind of stretch out inside. It is configured a little bit differently, and we're still working on making it more comfortable for them. Yeah. But the thing that is comfortable is their Brooklyn bedding beds. They are amazing. 2
full queen size mattresses. Yeah. Now, Chloe still has a bunk, but Chloe's still small and she likes that, and so it works out well. But the boys have amazing beds.
We've partnered up with rvmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding, and we've done some other videos in the past. If you want to check out up here, you should totally do it, and how we set up their room and all that stuff. Yeah. But we cannot say enough how much we love the Brooklyn Bedding mattresses.
The ones that the kids have right now are 6-inch Wanderlust mattresses. They have this awesome nanotechnology.
They have all different kinds of sizes and different styles and types too. There's a really large selection.
And right now is honestly, if you're seriously looking at something or upgrading your own mattresses, we have a fantastic deal going on with the partnership. You can go to rvmattress.com and you enter the code NOOrdinaryPath, and it gives you 20% off, which is a really nice discount. Like she said, tons of different options to choose from, sizing, firmness levels, all that kind of stuff. A lot of different custom sizes too. Plus they have this really cool 120 night sleep guarantee. So if you're like, get something and you pick it out and then you get it and you don't like it, you just send it back to him. What's your favorite thing about your mattress, Bubs?
It's really soft and it's comfortable to sleep on. And it's also very thick. So yeah.
Did I mention that John and I got an upgrade in our bed too? Going from a travel trailer to a fifth wheel, we now have a king-size mattress. And it turned out that our new to us trailer came with the king-size mattress from Brooklyn Bedding. That's actually how we found out about them in the first place.
They're also warranted for 10 years, which is awesome. And they're made right here in the United States.
In
Phoenix, where we're from, which is super awesome.
There will be a tour coming at some point in time.
Yeah, someday. We want to go meet them in person and tour the factory. That'd be cool.
It is, yeah. The way that they're made is really neat. They've got some cool videos about how they make them and stuff online too. Go check it out.
You can't talk about space without also talking about storage. There's lots of room to spread out individually, but there's so much room to store things inside the toy hauler, which all of this stuff is probably like, yeah, you know, it's bigger, it's gonna have more storage, but really they feel like Mary Poppins cabinets. Like they're just so much stuff that you can shove into there.
You could easily bring a full house's kitchen, I feel like, into this thing.
Yeah.
Easy.
Now, I will say the travel trailer did have a decent amount of storage. In fact, the travel trailer bunkhouse had way more storage than our kids have because they're in the garage inside the toy hauler.
There's no closets, there's no drawers or any storage space. It literally is a garage.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest things we've had to try to overcome a little bit for them. You know, the other thing that's different is the outside storage. You started to mention this. Yes, the basement of the toy hauler is bigger, and I can certainly incorporate a little bit more of all of the things that I had in the basement of the travel trailer. But what's interesting is the outside kitchen, which we do have a nice one, has like almost no storage whatsoever in it. And so that part is lacking for me. I miss some of the storage that we had separate in that outside kitchen.
Yeah, and the storage, the basement is shaped differently, so it's a little harder to get to. And it just felt like we had a really good system in our travel trailer of where everything went on the outside of the rig. And that has been an adjustment for us with the toy hauler. Something that I really love is the fact that our refrigerator is twice the size as it was in the travel trailer, which means we have so much more space to store food for my growing teenage boys. Let's face it, they're the ones who eat all of our food. But the problem is, it pulls a lot more energy than the refrigerator did inside our travel trailer, which was something that we were looking at when we upgraded to the toy hauler. We wanted to make sure we had a bigger fridge that we could boondock with.
And it is built that way. The refrigerator does run off of propane, which is what we wanted to make sure that it did. We wanted to make sure we could boondock with it, and we can. But what we've run into is the fact that it's probably because of the size. It certainly pulls more power. And when I say that, I don't think it's necessarily more propane. I think it requires more battery power to run the fans and the blowers and all that kind of stuff for the propane to work.
Yeah.
Because we found that it's drained the batteries down a little bit.
Which leads us right into power is our next category.
It's got a generator. It's got an onboard generator, which I love. Having that difference is huge for us. We had our dual fuel Champion 3400 watt generator that we loved, and it worked great for us, but it was outside. So anytime you wanted to start it, you had to go outside. You had to fill it with gas. You had to fill it with propane or whatever.
Figure out a place to store it.
Yep, that's right. I mean, so starting inside, now it enabled us to boondock. It was really the key that got us into that world. This in the toy hauler is an onboard Cummins ON 5500 watt generator, and it is like push button start. As also at the gas station, I can just fill up the tanks. I have 2 tanks for that generator, so there's a lot bigger capacity.
The one downside I would say to having the onboard generator, and it's kind of a good thing, but it has a bad. Anyways, it is really easy to blow through fuel. So we'll turn it on.
Start and stop. It's so nice.
Yeah, we've boondocked for the last 2 weeks solid.
Yep.
Over here in the Midwest / East Coast area. So that's coming. But we have been off grid for 2 weeks with it.
If it's raining outside, whatever, I just start a generator. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I love that about it. It's a huge difference.
So solar. Yes, we
yeah, of
are
course. You gotta
planning on
mention
doing
that.
solar.
Yes.
I know everyone's like, when are you going to do solar? Well, it costs a lot of money, guys. We're working on it. Anyhow, in the travel trailer, could we have done solar? Probably, but we had a non-walkable roof.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a very high cargo capacity to carry a bunch of extra weight.
On the travel trailer, we had the outside space. It wasn't super secure, so we really would have had to work around something. With the toy hauler, you have that additional storage space for batteries where you could secure them easier.
Another huge power difference is that we went from a 30 amp to a 50 amp. Now, I know there are some travel trailers out there that do run off of 50 amps. Ours did not. It was on a 30 amp. So overall, the travel trailer pulled a lot less energy than the toy hauler does. And sometimes it actually means that we have to pay more money because there is an upcharge for 50 amp service at a lot of campgrounds.
We talked about size, and bigger size means different tow vehicle, right? There are travel trailers that you can pull with small SUVs. There's not too many toy haulers that you can do that with. So especially the big fifth wheel toy haulers, you're needing a larger vehicle. I had a 2500 Ram that I loved. It was fantastic. Pulled that travel trailer great, but it wasn't gonna work for this one. You know, it's not big enough. And so we upgraded to a Chevy Silverado 3500 HD dually. So different vehicle, a lot bigger, more weight, more fuel, all of the things. And that is a factor if you're considering purchasing a large trailer like this.
Last but not least, price. There is a huge price difference in a travel trailer versus a fifth wheel toy hauler. There are travel trailers that are also toy haulers, but we're largely talking about the difference between travel trailers and fifth wheel toy haulers.
That's right.
And you're gonna see like half the price on a travel trailer versus a fifth wheel.
Absolutely. Well, especially recently. So the market is nuts. Everything's kind of nuts right now. Hopefully that will change a little bit, but
Yeah.
You're right. It is a huge difference between those two costs.
Yeah, so if you are in the market and a travel trailer is what you can afford, we're not saying that they're bad. We lived in one for 4 years. We just wanted to point out the differences between the two so that you have a better picture.
That's right. Give you some information
from
to
our
think
experience.
about. As always, everybody, give that thumbs up button a push. That helps the video a lot. If you're new here, leave comments below. Let us know. Also, which one do you guys prefer? What's your experience been? Have you enjoyed being in a travel trailer? Have you enjoyed a toy hauler? Have you thought about going from one to the other? Or have you already, right? Let us know. We'd love the engagement, and subscribe if you're brand new, guys. Stay tuned. We got some amazing content coming out still. And in the meantime,
We'll see you out there.
See you out there.